Okay, so there's lots of news surrounding movies, and we're going to talk about it. Trolls was the first movie, Trolls World Tour, that went straight to streaming, digital platforms, since the quarantine started. And it looks like Universal did really, really well with it. They actually made 100 million, I believe, like in the first or 2 weeks that it opened. So that's interesting because now they're thinking about shortening the window between theatrical and uh, streaming versus digital on demand. And so, of course, that angered AMC theaters. They threw a tantrum and they said, well, we're not going to show any of your movies. So, there. And Regal apparently had joined the protest next, but then they backtracked. So it'll be interesting to see how many other exhibitors join the protest. Although, I don't know, I don't see uh, much weight on that because there's so many other movie theaters and there's independent movie theaters. So there's plenty of other movie theaters to go to, especially the independents. Well, they might not have stadium seating, but they do have a big screen. So would you guys be up to going to an independent screening if more major chains join the protest and not show any Universal films? So let me know about that. In the meantime, let me share this video so we can have more people join. And then also, Universal made, I guess, pretty good bank with the other movies, which did have theatrical run, a short theatrical run, and then became available on digital and on demand. And that was The Hunt, Invisible Man, and I don't remember the other title, but they made about 70 million. So in comparison to movie theaters, that's not as big, but considering the situation we're in, it's not too bad. And so I'm wondering if other studios are going to follow suit and do that, because I don't think, in my opinion, you'll have some people who go to the movie theaters. The only movie theaters opening right now are apparently the ones in Texas and in Georgia. I believe the governor allowed movie theaters to open, but they decided not to, which makes sense because they're going to spend all this money for a little amount of people to go sit down and see a movie. So it's probably not worth it, in my opinion. Basically, for the movie studios, it's better for them to go streaming, and I'll tell you why. I used to work in distribution for Fox for about 4 years, so I found out how they make their money. I don't know if it's supposed to be a secret, but it's going to come out now. So anyway, back then, this was probably like 20 years ago. This is my first job out of college. So basically what they do is for big films, it's a 70-30 split. So obviously the movie studio gets 70% for the first week, sometimes 2 weeks. If it's a really big movie, the studio can say, okay, 70% for 2 weeks, and then it goes down 10% each week to eventually you get to a point where it's, I think, 50% is as low as they got. So for some films that weren't as big and they didn't have much bargaining tools, they would start out probably at 70 for 1 week, maybe 60 if it was a really badly reviewed movie. So I'm pretty sure it's still the same. So if you think about it, the exhibitors get a lot of the percentage from movie going, plus their concessions. So you can imagine, and their concessions are expensive, as anyone knows who's ever bought stuff from them. It's super duper expensive. So they make pretty good bank, the movie theaters. So, and given the fact that here in LA, the prices I think are at 14, so it's not cheap. That because I think I read that they get pretty much 80% of the totals when they do streaming and on demand. So that's quite a difference, and the percentage doesn't reduce during the run like they do in movie theaters, where at one point they're only getting, no, I think it actually goes down to 30% in movie theaters. I don't remember. It was a while ago, but yeah. So at one point they're both making 50-50. So in on demand they're making a lot less. No, on demand they're making more, so they get to keep more money. So of course, conflicting, goals for both companies. So it'll be interesting to see. And are they really going to hold to that? What do you guys think? Are they really going to hold to boycotting Universal films, especially with a lot of the movies that are coming out? You have Fast and the Furious, and I can't think of any other movies right now, but Fast and Furious, I mean, that's mega maker. So I can't believe that they'll turn that down. Also, Jurassic World, I think they stopped filming right now, so they changed some of their dates as well. So it'll be interesting to see. And as I mentioned, there won't be many summer movies this weekend or this summer. Tenet, the Christopher Nolan's new film, is sticking around. The July, I had it somewhere, but yeah, there I think either June or July. So I don't know if people will be ready to attend movie theaters even then. And speaking of movie theaters, so the only movie theaters that will be allowed to open are in Texas, and apparently they will have a TSA level check-in. So they're going to take your temperature, make sure you have a mask, and I don't know what other screenings they can possibly do. But as we know, asymptomatic infections, they're still contagious. So even if you don't have a fever, you're still contagious. So it's a little skeptical there. I'm skeptical that two people will even attend the movie theater. I'm sure there'll be one or two people. And second of all, having to go through that screening where somebody actually has to take your temperature, and I don't know what else they're going to do. Are they going to make you take off your shoes? That's a joke. But yeah, it's a TSA level screenings before you go into a movie theater. So I don't think they're going to bother with that. But they are going to offer $5 tickets and $5 concessions. And since right now, there are no new films coming out because they were all moved, they're going to be playing classics. So I read somewhere that The Goonies would be one of the options, and then Sonic the Hedgehog, since that is coming out on digital, Blu-ray, DVD, and on demand. It's already on demand, but the hard disk will be coming out, I think this week or last week. I'm still waiting for mine. Can't wait. They've asked me if I want one. I said, yes, please. I'm going to watch it a third time. All right, so we talked about a TSA level screenings. Let me know, you guys. Do you think you'll attend under those circumstances? And then that's what's next on the list. All right, let's talk movies. So I'm sure you heard Warner Brothers announced a bunch of changes to their movie slate. And so let's see here. First, The Sopranos prequel, they have a date of March 12th, 2021. I'm not even sure if that's even been shot. So that'll be interesting to see. And then Black Adam, December 22nd, 2021. And apparently, Dwayne Johnson, who's starring in the film and producing it, he said somewhere on his social media that they're going to resume production, or they're going to start production sometime in August. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Then the Batman, which was in the middle of shooting before they had to stop, the date now is October 1st, 2021. And of course, all this is dependent on when they finish shooting. Who knows when they're going to go back, since social distancing on a set. Can you imagine? I don't understand how they're going to do that unless they have a closed set. So they have a small amount of people on set. And co-stars. Yeah, it's going to be tricky with co-stars. So I don't know. How do you guys think that's going to work? I have no idea. And then finally, Shazam 2 gets a release date of November 2nd, 2022. So it's far away. So they have some wiggle room unless something happens. We don't know the future. So it'll be hard to say. The Flash, Next will be June 3rd, 2022, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with that movie. There's a lot of speculation because, as you may have heard, Ezra Miller got into an altercation somewhere in Europe, and it might have been a case of him trying to play with someone, but he put his hands around a girl's neck and didn't exactly throw her on the ground, but pretend throw on the ground. That's not a good look, regardless if he meant it as a joking way of bringing up or taking on this fan who was teasing him about fighting him. Why would fans do that? That's just ridiculous, even if they're drunk. It's not like he's a macho man. Of course, you would never ask Dwayne Johnson to fight him, but he's a big guy. So maybe they thought, oh, this little guy, I can take him, but who knows? So the fact that they mentioned that they announced the release date means it's probably still on, and Ezra Miller will be the Flash. I personally liked him. I saw a lot of backlash saying what a horrible actor he is, but I enjoyed him. I don't know what you guys thought. I enjoyed him in the Justice League movie. I thought he was a good character and a funny character, the way he played it. Where Lionsgate just this past week announced they're moving stuff all over the place. And let's see, I'll show you the actual image that they released on Twitter. And now, so here we go. All right, so here's the new dates. And as you can see, reboot coming. It's called Spiral. And that's been moved to May 21st, 2021. So let's count down the Lionsgate list of really new release dates. So Antebellum, that's Jordan Peele's latest movie he's producing with, it's a horror movie, as you can guess. It now will be released August 21st, and it stars Janelle Monáe. Is that her name? Monáe. And then Fatale, October 30th. I had not heard of that movie, but apparently it stars, let me see here. It's Deon Taylor directing with Hilary Swank, Michael Ealy, and Mike Coulter, best known as Luke Cage. And then there's The Asset. The Asset I had never heard of either. The Asset's going to be April 23rd, 2021. That stars, oh, I don't have that. It's down here. And then Spiral, like I mentioned, it's a Saw reboot. So that'll be interesting to see how they can reboot that. That's been moved to May 21st, 2021. And then Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. Okay, that sounds silly. It's probably meant to be. That's July 16, 2021. Then Hitman's Bodyguard was taken out from this year's release to August 20th. And it's technically called Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. But it's a sequel to Hitman's Bodyguard with Samuel Jackson and Ryan Reynolds. And then American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story, December 10th, 2021. And sadly, John Wick will have to wait for 2 years. John Wick Chapter 4, May 27th, 2022. And the reason for that is because he was currently shooting Matrix 4. But obviously they had to stop shooting because of the coronavirus. And so they're in the middle of production. So he needs to, when this whole mess is figured out, he will have to return to the set and finish that. And then resume. Well, actually, John Wick, I read they don't even have a script yet. So should probably announce the release date when you have a good script, because we don't want, I mean, all 3 movies have been really good. So I can't complain. But it always worries me when we hear that they don't have a script yet they have production and a release date set. So let's just hope they don't ruin the franchise. And then Lionsgate also has a few other movies that they didn't mention in their release announcement because they're staying on the same date. That will be Neil Berger's sci-fi movie called Voyageurs. It stars Ty Sheridan and Colin Farrell. That's at the end of this year, on November 25th. I have not heard anything about that movie. So, and I don't think I've seen a trailer. So we have yet to see a trailer. And then there's the Nicolas Cage movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, will be out March 19, 2021. And then finally, not too far away, is Chaos Walking. Apparently that's the highly anticipated movie based on something else, based on a book or another property. That's Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley, Mads Mikkelsen. Oh, that's a reunion. Oh no, two different movies. They were in two different movies in the Star Wars universe. And Damien Bashir, Kurt Sutter, and Nick Jonas. Oh, so it's Kurt Sutter starting here. And Cynthia Erivo. She played Harriet Tubman last year. And then David Oyelowo. I can never pronounce his name correctly. So that will be out January 22nd. So speaking of going to the movie theaters, like I mentioned in Texas, they're opening some theaters and you'll have to go through TSA level screenings. So we'll see how that goes. So they're probably going to do the test run, see if people are showing up. People in Texas are going to the beaches. So I don't know if those are the brave people that will go into an enclosed space. But all I know is when I go to the movies, I'm going to be looking like this. But I'm kidding. I probably won't go to the movies anytime soon. I have asthma. So it's not likely that I'll be going out anytime soon to a movie theater. Even if the press screenings, I'm a little worried about. Not sure I'm going to handle those. Mulan's this summer, so we'll see if they keep to that date. I'm sure they will by now. Especially knowing now with the Trolls watch party, knowing that they made $100 million the first week or two off of that title, Trolls World Tour. You can imagine for Mulan, it's going to be even twice as much money. So I'm sure they're going to release it in movie. That's my prediction. They're going to release it in movie theaters for 2 weeks, and then make it available for rent and on demand. That's my prediction. That would make the most sense. Because like I said, given that what we know now, that there is a market out there to buy in the first week or two, so it makes sense monetarily, business-wise, right? Makes sense to make money because that's their business. I know a lot of people always complain that they're in it for the money, but yeah, they're in it for the money. That's, that's the model of how do we make money?